Today is June 2nd, 2025. You know, back on May 30th at 1 o'clock in the morning, when those officers were outside, and everybody heard because they saw them walking, people were saying them stuff the next day, including kids, what they heard. Like, where the first month or two of the case, they came up. Will found another way of making money off the case. He's selling the login for $25 a pop. That's Bill from the Freemason selling the login, not the agent on my case. Made millions. July 8th, 24, 9:10 in the morning, Altman Hospital Billing Department. They called me. I'm going through McDonald's. They said your debit card didn't work. I just used it. I said, let me get my drink and I'll pull over. And while I'm waiting for my drink and get ready to pull over, I called, I ordered those men to come here. I paid for them to show up. I paid for those men to do all those things to her. And I paid people to follow around and say and do things to her. I know she only carried a gun because Dave was controlling. And when I get done with her, she won't be allowed to carry a gun again. Okay. What was he doing in the billing department? And he should have never been allowed back there. Fishing for information and a con man. That has to be about from the Freemasons. Because he's the one paying for everything. Up into Akron a few days later, men on motorcycles, they said they actually checked the hospital tapes of who was in that department, and they said he was telling people he was an agent over a case. And he paid for those people to hurt her. Well, see, that's where in October, in Golden Corral, they said Bill from the Freemasons was telling everybody he was an FBI agent. They had somebody look him up, and he's not. See, that's where these people are imposters. Just like where those officers were saying they weren't going to help me because I reported those people at the hospital. Those were drug cartel. They were not Portage County sheriffs. For one thing, they would have been out of their jurisdiction. And that heavy-set white lady that came on got smart with me when they were pulling the scam of the chip, which they started right after they bashed my head in trying to cover up attempted murder. Okay? And they kept telling everybody. Amy even heard them laugh about it. Outside the apartment. Okay? This one, RN nurse Teresa, she said it was on an online chat on human traffickers what to look for because the victims are too scared to say anything. One of the scams was telling the people they chipped them if they tried to tell law enforcement they couldn't hide them, that they could find them anywhere and show up and kill them. It was to keep people quiet. That's where Sheriff Grady in Florida did a YouTube video of Florida human traffickers running scams on people. They'll have 100 people watch 14 running scams on them so law enforcement don't help them. Okay? That heavy-set white lady told people she was Michelle's mother. Okay? And she's over there getting smart with me, and I'm just looking at her. I'm not even going to answer you. Those people that came up to the desk, they were talking about being FBI. Those were cartel. I don't think the Portage County sheriffs are hanging out with the drug cartel. And they sure as heck wouldn't be impersonating the FBI and running a scam on somebody. It was cartel. Pull back the facade of who they are. They're religious occult people. They are Freemasons, helping Bill, and drug cartel. That's where the guy that bashed my head in was with the fake FBI handler, showed up December 16, 18 at Bob Evans. And those group of men were bragging the one guy left his comb on Dave's dresser after they bashed my head in. And how they were supposed to be FBI handlers that almost killed me. They're not. They're cartel. Get it? cartel. Pull back the facade. Just like the guy that raped and tortured me told everybody at Faith Healing Church he was FBI. It's cartel. Get it? Those people were cartel running a scam. That's why I reported them, so they could get pictures of them. Okay? And that's where even that weird Eric calling the nurse and a bad mouth me. And I'm going to the bathroom, I can hear her. I go back to my room and people, security guards are calling me a bad name and I leave. Okay? That's when I went out. That was March 13, 21. Oh, I reported them. Administration said my staff will not participate in this. I went over to Mercy Medical and I told them my ex had tried to kill me and has people running scams on me. I go in the back, some lady comes in, no man was ever to touch her. Okay? Nurse comes in laughing, the only thing they had you on is adjusting yourself. The guy said, that's sick. Said, no, it's funny. She simply wiped off water with clothes on. He said, that's sick. He said, no, it's funny. She simply brushed it off. They didn't have anything else. See, that's what the ladies group came down from Ravenna. In January of 22, we made a big mistake being in her home. She's never said she did anything wrong before. And when she wiped that water off, she went straight down, didn't expose herself. And as if anybody would care about that. And those people raped her. See what I mean? That's where December 9, 21, Edith Oakland apartment, same day, white man bald with our guys at the Stark County Hunger Task Force, 9th Street, but all the tapes before were them and not me, and it's just a bunch of men doing crimes here. Same thing to my client, February, March of 22 in Navarre. That Pete ordered everything drugged, photoshopped, and made up on me, meant to frame with me, March 24, 22, 1:30. Found tapes of them emitting a shower scene in the other room, May 12, 22 at noon, and May 26, 22 at noon. Then the drugs and told to say it ongoing. Mocking people, mocking the FBI for pulling a further drug scam. November 18, 22 and June 7, 23. And then I can give you a whole list of drugs and told to say it. Police already documented in August of 23 that I was framed before. Okay. Now, we're going to go ahead and talk about what else those officers said out there where they said they were ready not to help me because I dare tell on the Portage County Police for being in there. It wasn't them, they lied. It was cartel. It was cartel. That's why they're trying to pull the scam. Okay? Another thing where you said when they were in our office and she was saying how she threatened they said she threatened everybody, so we didn't care what they did to her. Oh my God. Okay, we need to have some common sense. Common sense to our head. Somebody's saying they're threatening you. A bunch of them. Oh, she's threatening all kinds of people. Okay, where would I see him? I wouldn't. Do I go to their church? No. Haven't been a member of their church in 15 years. So how would I have their addresses, phone numbers? Where would I know where they work? I have nothing to do with them. 15 years. I don't know anything about them anymore. I have my own life. So how could you threaten people you don't see, you don't go to church with, you don't know where they live, you don't have their phone numbers? You have nothing to do with these people. In 2011, 2012, they were making up stuff while I was going to Blaylock's church. And people were showing up saying stuff. Well, I hadn't seen those people in 8 years. So I went over with Dave and I visited twice, still didn't find out what was going on. Okay? Dave came home. Now, I used to watch Danny's twins and Gabe. They were working at a pizza place. They would get off. And they pick up the kids about, 8, 9 o'clock. And the kids were tiny back then. He picked up the kids and they left. And I'm sitting there waiting for Dave to get home from church. Okay? He comes in and he hurts me really bad. And I'm crying, why? Why? You'll learn to keep your filthy mouth shut. I said, Danny and Jen just left an hour ago. I've been waiting for you to come home. I haven't talked to anybody. He got so mad, he quit his church. They lied to him. And I got hurt really bad. Because somebody lied to him. Get the idea? I was going to Blaylock's. And people were making up stuff. It was supposed to be coming from that church. I went over and seen Frances. And I asked her, I said, will you go for a walk with me? I said, what is going on and why are people making stuff up? She's like, Mary hates you. I said, why would Mary hate me? I haven't seen her in 8 years. She stopped and she smiled like the Grinch that stole Christmas, chuckling. She said, is that what's going on? I said, what's going on? You don't know? No, what? Never mind. I'm laughed. I hadn't seen her in 8 years. Jim Pritchett came up to me. He said, I have to work with Brother English all day long. All I hear is how you're on drugs, crazy, run around, and all this stuff. I looked at him, and he said, I come to church and you're fine. I said, I haven't seen him in 8 years. Ignore him. They told people that I was drunk, drugs, running them around the front yard in a bikini. Okay? Back then, I was almost 200 pounds. Nobody wants to see that in a bikini. Didn't own a bikini. I didn't drink. I didn't do drugs. I didn't smoke. I didn't even swear. Okay? That's where Terry Coberly would laugh. If it wasn't for that darn bikini, I was like, I don't even know one. She's like, well, was it yellow? Did it have pink polka dots? I'm like, shut up. And she was going on and on and on. Teasing me. She's probably, if you mentioned it to her today, she'd start giggling. I didn't even know. They made the whole thing up. Okay? They told people, now, I started losing a lot of weight. I started walking a lot. And I got down to about a size 8. And they dress up really nice at those churches. So I went to Macy's and Dillard's and I had the sale racks. I got like $150, $200 dresses for like $35 to $50. I had $70 shoes on, texture tights. I'd have my hair down in curls or up in a bun. I could have went to a wedding reception. They told people I didn't have enough class to dress right. Leah came in and she said, before we talk, I like your outfit. I'm like, thanks. I like yours. She's like, thanks. And then she told me. These are people I don't even see or talk to. Just running their mouth. Okay? So common sense. If I haven't been a member of their church in 15 years, I don't go there. I don't have their phone numbers, their addresses, or know where they work. Where would I see them to threaten them? I wouldn't. They lie to you. My niece, Heather, years ago, she was just barely 20. Beautiful. When you're 20, your face don't have a filter. They don't. You think you're an adult and you can speak your mind? She went to one of their parties. And this guy came down and was being mean to his wife in front of people. She's like, don't take that. That's abuse. The lady looked at her and said, "You just want my husband." She looked at him and went, "Ew." He's like 40. She's young, 20, beautiful, and 40 sounded disgusting to her. Because she don't have a filter on her face. And she started calling her a whore, calling her names. Had everybody in church call her a whore. Told everybody she was cheating on her husband, sleeping with all kinds of men. Yeah, she told me, she said, one day they will learn it's wrong to lie on people. Okay. In August, there was like an outing up at Apostolic Church of Barberton. Took the kids up there because they had balloon slides and all kinds of stuff. Dave's brother Jerry came up and sat down. And he's like, "What do you expect would happen after what your mother did?" I looked at him and I said, "My mother hasn't been in Ohio for 15 years. He said, 15 years? I said, "She left in 2003, has not been back. What would my mother have done?" He said, 15 years, he looks down. And I said, 15 years, what would my mother have done? He's like, "What?" And he got up and left. I'm like, what on earth? So I waited till I got alone. I called my mom. And I said, "What did you do?" She said, "Karen, I haven't talked to those people in 15 years. I said, "Mom, what would they have thought you'd done?" She said, "Karen, I haven't seen or talked to those people in 15 years. I started giggling at that point because they're making all this crazy crap up. I said, "Why don't you just confess to it, admit to it, apologize, and we'll move on?" She's like, "I'm not admitting to anything I didn't do wrong. I'm not confessing to anything I did wrong. I'm not apologizing for nothing I did wrong. And I haven't seen those people." I started giggling. See, I sort of feel like my mother. I had nothing to do with those people. And why didn't you have a brain cell in your head of where would she see you? Where would she get your phone number, address? Where would she know where you work? Where would she be rude to you? Put a little common sense in your brain. Somebody who's not been part of a church in 15 years, where would they even see them ever? See, I had my own life. Had nothing to do with them. And we started up at Pamers, okay? In 2011, 2012, we went up there. And they wouldn't talk to us. So we hardly went. I didn't even know their names. They wouldn't talk to us. We only went 4 to 8 times a year, if that, because they wouldn't talk to us. We go in, and Pam and Jack, they used to go to Strangers Church. In 1984, they went up to Pamers. They visited a couple times, but they haven't been part of our life in 30 years. So when you see them, "Hi, how are you? How's your kids? How's your grandkids? Nice seeing you, bye." Probably talk to them 4 or 6 times. Polite conversation like that in 6 years. Randomly, over 6 years. Barely passing each other and saying stuff. There was a lady, Martha, that used to go to Lighthouse. I think she said hi to us twice. Anita probably said hi to us twice. That used to go there. I want you to get the idea out of 6 years. There was a girl named Vicky. When I was 15 years old, that's when Bruce asked me out. He was her boyfriend, and he broke up with her and then started going out with me. I was 15 years old. It's been 35 years. 35 years. She came up to me and she said, "I'm still mad that Bruce broke up with me and went out of you." I'm like, I was 15 years old. You're married, you have kids, you have grandkids. You should be grateful for the nice family you have. Well, I still am mad that he broke up with me to go out with you. It's like you have your own family. It's been 35 years. You should be grateful for the nice family you have. And I sort of chuckled at it. It'd been 35 years. She's married, kids, grandkids. We were teenagers. Some guy broke up with her and went out with me. Come on now. Okay? Just sort of laughed at it. I said, you should be grateful. You have a really nice family. You have kids, you got grandkids. Just ignore the stupid situation. Okay. Delano Eddy was Dave's boss. His nice family, his grown daughters, Jeanette and Trina, they would come up and say hello to me and Dave. Nice, polite conversation. Dave's brother Jerry, okay, his wife Barb and his son Joe went up there. Dave and them had a big falling out in 92. Dave's dad was remarried, second wife. He got Alzheimer's or dementia. He had fell, he had broke a hip, couldn't hardly walk. Well, his second wife got cancer, stage 4, real quick. He had a tiny house over by Horseman School in Canton. Real tiny little house. She couldn't take care of him anymore. She was going to put him in a nursing home because she's dying herself. She went to put him in a nursing home, and she found out that house wasn't his anymore. Said, what do you mean it's not his? They went and pulled the deed, and it was Jerry and Charles's name, the other two brothers. They asked him, when did you sign it over? He said, I didn't sign it over. He said, I remember taking a drink, feeling dizzy, and somebody hitting me, but I never signed anything. They had drugged him up. He told a social worker that. She had to get an attorney with stage 4 cancer. She didn't even have hair. She had to wear one of those turbans. And threatened to put them in jail if they didn't sign it back over. And they were going to let his dad be set on the street before they signed it over. That attorney had to threaten to put him in jail. And they signed it over. Well, he only lived like 6 months. And when he died, she called us. She said, I need you to go down to the funeral home and pick out a casket, nice flowers, and get his suit cleaned and stuff, because she's too sick to leave her home at this point. And she said, but if you tell those other 2 boys after what they did to my husband, she said, I'll tell them, cancel everything and have my son do it. So we went down, we picked everything out, and they told Dave he didn't have a right. And he said, well, it was either me or her son, and they screamed at him really bad. You could actually pull Charles A. Hall Sr.'s house in Canton. It'll go from his name to Jerry and Charles's, back to his, and then to the 3 boys, and then sold. We wanted to make sure that they actually did that, and we went down to where they have the deeds. Yeah, the lady said, why did it switch hands so fast? Didn't answer. They actually did that. Well, when they sold the house, there was only like $12,000. Each person got like $3,500, and the one brother put a penny down. Dave won't get a penny more than my other brother. They were really horrible people. So there was like a block of ice between 92 to when we seen them. It was just, hi, how are you? Like conversation to somebody, oh my God, I can't believe what you did to your father. You know what I mean? So seeing them, it was my conversation. But nobody else would talk to us. We would go in there, and we'd go to leave, and Dave's like, nobody even acknowledged us. They would just walk by. Out of 500 people. Now, I told you those conversations, that's 6 years of them. We would go up to church a lot of times, and nobody would talk to us. Never. Not even acknowledge us. Dave was so mad. He said, so help me, if they have communion, you can't have communion with those people. They are not our church family. They won't even look at us. See, then you got to see where they made up that lie. I was threatening people. I didn't even know their names. They didn't talk to me. Delano, Eddie, his one boss, and his grown daughters were polite to me. And Dave, his family that he barely talked to over 30 years because of what happened in 92, or, well, actually, that would be like 20 years at that point. We were just polite to people that we seen 30 years ago, saying hi as they walked by. People didn't talk to us. Nobody else talked to us out of 500 people. That's where Dave's like, he didn't care if he went or not. We only went, like I said, sometimes 4 times a year, sometimes not even that. Randomly. He come home and he said, I'm tired. Why don't I just get the boat ready so we can go fishing in the morning? You want to go see Dan and the kids? You want to go out to eat? I'm tired. I don't feel like getting dressed up to go up there for people to ignore us. They didn't talk to us. Get the idea? I mean, out of 6 years, I don't think 5, maybe 6 people said hello. They ignored us. That's why Dave wouldn't take communion with them. They're not our church family. I will not take communion with those people. If they go to serve it, you better get in the car or I'll leave you, because I will not take communion with those people. They wouldn't talk to us. They snubbed us. Okay? So how could you threaten people that you don't even know their name, that will not even acknowledge you? You can't. I didn't know those people. They wouldn't talk to me a day. So common sense, where would I threaten them? I don't even know them. Get the idea? Get the idea? Get the idea? They lied to you. And then you didn't put a brain cell on their lie. Well, where would she see you? Where did she do it? How did she know your number? Where did she know your address or this? Or where did you see her that she would do that? See, you didn't even question their statement. They were lying to you and played you like a fool. Get the idea? You were played like a fool and you didn't even question her lies. People saying, oh, she said she was supposed to have been threatening all kinds of people and being mean to them. I didn't even know them. Didn't talk to them. They lied. See, I'll be like my mother. And the other people, I hadn't talked to them. I had nothing to do with those people. And you need, start thinking about their lies and how stupid were you, somebody just looking at you and making up a lie. Plus, I don't threaten people. My father raised me better. He said, don't ever waste your breath threatening someone. If you have to take care of something, take care of it. Don't waste your breath. Because only cowards threaten people. See what I mean? I don't threaten people. And the people I had nothing to do with, where I go to Pamers and nobody talks to me or Dave, we would go in and there would be times people didn't even acknowledge us. He wouldn't want to go back for a long time, go in and acknowledge us again. They'd walk by. See, that's why I wouldn't take communion with them. And then think of Strangers Church. I hadn't been a member of that church in 15 years. I would have no information on those people. Nothing to do with them. See, I actually, believe it or not, I had a life that I loved without them. I worked in banks, loan companies, had careers. I had Dave, I had the kids, and I had the grandkids. I had my own life without them. And they weren't even a concern or a thought of mine. Get the idea? They played you like a fool. You need to get your facts straight before you put your name on it. And so that you don't look like a fool. And then start putting common sense on it. It's like my mother. I haven't talked to those people in 15 years. Yeah. Get the idea? You know, I told you on Friday, I was at Altman Family Physicians. I've been having a lot of trouble with my stomach, and I went in there, and I also had her check my ears, and I have a piece of wax stuck to the inside of my ear, and it won't come out. She tried to pull it out, it was painful, so I got to go to a specialist to get it out. It just feels like a pimple, but it's wax. It's annoying. She said, before you leave, I want to read the notes. Said some office said they hired a psychiatrist on their own. To evaluate her, so they can know who the office is and who the dirty doctor is. The drugger rapist said that psychiatrist wrote it up that she was so devastated over her divorce she was hurting herself. I don't hurt myself, that would be painful. And if she said somebody bashed her in the back of the head, she probably beat her head till she had a dent. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me, you fucking moron. Don't say a word to her because it was done by some office or having a psychiatrist evaluate on their own. They're not allowed to. Where they said some attorney hired some psychiatrist to drug me up and tell me to say stuff. Yeah. You go there, it should be in the notes. They got them dead to rights. Dead to rights. Even confessing it's not my doctor. That some office hired them on their own. It says right on Google, a doctor cannot treat you without your signed consent. It's medical malpractice, medical negligence. It's 10 years. They don't have a right in your life. They don't have a right to put opinion on your life. They don't have a right to look at you. No one can pay someone else to write up shit on you. And fraud. Okay? It's illegal. It's like a federal crime. And if they treat you, they touch you, it's assault and battery. And like they said, with them drugging her up, it's assault with a deadly weapon. It's not my doctor. They even confessed. Where that idiot in my old apartment spawned a Satan with his mommy dearest. The one that has Jesus on the back of his truck? I would say Satan. How he was part of Bill from the Freemason scam. Where they laughed about it up in Hollister's on May 25th, 25. Bill from the Freemasons ran the biggest scam here. He had some guy go up and tape her in the shower, washing herself, giggling because they're teenage boys. Could you imagine taping somebody washing themselves in the shower? And then had some guy go up and drug her up and tell her to say that. Could you imagine drugging somebody up and telling them to say something like that? Then he ran a contest on it. His scam of who could come up with the best scam to steal her informant money. And scammed everybody into helping out, and they're cackling. So this guy is part of Bill from the Freemason scam. He knew that it was a scam. Where April 24th, 25, they were up in Summit Mall again, the Texas cartel was up there. We found out Michelle told on them that that doctor wasn't one of hers, but worked for them, and they had lied. Telling that scamming was to pull off is ruined because she told them about that doctor not being one of hers, and he works for them, and they had lied. You tell them we said take care of her. And the Texas group was up there. Okay? Well, they started leaving all kinds of threats on that girl. I told you, March 27th, 25, some guy showed up outside my work, and how he had broke up with Michelle. He got her to confess that she was part of having my head bashed in. They tried to kill me or leave me incompetent. It didn't work. That the reason I don't know who that doctor is, he's not one of mine, and he works for them, and they had lied. And he got it out of Dave that a girlfriend from before me had him marry me so he could get a job at my dad's factory. She would have free insurance, and he could give her extra money. The woman using my insurance ran up. Half my medical bills were hers. That agent got it out of Dave that it was his girlfriend from before me, him and her scamming me. My whole marriage was a scam. Okay? See where that idiot, where I couldn't figure out, I've lived here a year, and Carl and I have lived together a year. My old apartment, I lived there 5 years. Okay? He didn't say anything for a year. Michelle confesses that it's not one of my doctors. 3 days later, he's outside trying to pull the scam of the doctor. How he was in it with that Bill from the Freemasons. Okay? He was in the office with that agent when he asked her about that doctor. She said it wasn't one of his. He worked for them, and that they had lied he was one of mine, you know? That's what she told. That's what Michelle told. Well, he told those people. We were in there. He was in there when they met with that agent. And when he asked her about that doctor, she said she didn't know who he was. What did Michelle say? It's not my doctor. They had lied. He's lying to the neighbors, scamming them. And that doctor had her taped. They admitted they drugged me and told me to say it years ago. Years ago, laughed at me. How would you like to take a drink out of a drink? The room go dizzy and black. Wake up with injection marks, orange, lemon, grapefruit sized bruises, throwing up, heart racing, almost passing out, and severe personal infection. You think it's the dirty wild water giving you cancer. And to find out some assholes were raping you. And I told you, with finding out that it was a doctor, think about it. Footsteps, a guy with a dress shirt on, sleeves rolled up, arm coming across me with a syringe, the room going black, feeling like my back's being ripped open to my chest, screaming at the top of my lungs, and I can't see and breathe. And then wake up with marks and like that, no memory, and I thought those were nightmares. No, it was that doctor drug beating, raping me, and probably torturing me because I couldn't breathe. Sicko Jack the Ripper rapist, him and his dirty attorney firm running drug scams on some people. His fake sodium pentothal reports. I mean, like they called him a serial rapist. But how he was there scamming that agent. Like he's something big and great. When that church sent out emails asking other church people to show up, church religious groups show up and harm her, and other people to harm her and harass her, we were the first religious group there. His church people, her people, that makes him a terrorist group. You don't even know what he's saying. And he was in there even when they met with that agent. He asked her if she knew about this doctor. I thought it was the other lady that used my insurance. Ran up all those bills, stuck me with the copays. No, it's just a big scam. Because it didn't make sense. When she said she didn't know who he was, he knew she was lying. He had her taped in his filthy. What they've drugged me up and told me saying laughed in my face. Years ago, used to make me vomit. I didn't know. You don't remember with Ruhies. And he turned her back over to us because he knew she was lying. It's not my doctor. Like I said, they were putting threats on Michelle after that. Well, that idiot right after that. Now they were admitting down outside Dutch Valley Restaurant, April 3rd, 25. Heavyset white lady walks out ahead of us, a guy with a beard behind us, and they're talking how there's scams all world. March 30th, 25, he's out there with the neighbors, acting all big and tough, trying to scam them. A scam that's already been debunked. Okay? And then they start threatening Michelle. Well, right after that, he said, we got to find somebody dumb enough to arrest her. It's not like they can prosecute her. She's an informant. She's in immunity. But we got to find somebody who would dare arrest her. He said all the other police know about the FBI case. And they wouldn't dare touch her with that open FBI case. They wouldn't dare. But we got to find somebody dumb enough to touch her. And it's not like they can prosecute her. Because she's an informant. But that agent will have to show up within the first hour. That's the only way we can get him to show up. I thought, why do you want him to show up to yell at some cops? That don't make any sense. And he got, we got to find somebody. And then he starts getting all the neighbors all worked up. You should be afraid. She's here. I thought, I'm not the one you should be afraid of. You need to be afraid of that terrorist over there. Okay? Then he tried to pull the mean games of Melissa's kids, tried to steal my car, trying to brag to people. She better thank God they're mean games to pretend. Because if she would have actually let something happen to her kids and didn't report it and didn't get them help, she would have went to jail as an accessory. And they're documenting mean games to pretend Thanksgiving of 18. She better thank God. Well, I kept thinking, why does he kept saying, we have to get somebody dumb enough to arrest her for that agent show. Well, I got to thinking, why does he want him to show up to yell at some officers? Why? Well, I was up on Forest Grove Drive working with a client that was ill. And she was terminal at one point. And at the last part, Alzheimer's. Totally bedridden, okay? Her cleaning lady is a retired CIA agent. I met her. She used to be a sniper. She said you don't meet CIA agents if they're going to snipe you. Can't have any personal contact. And for somebody who's retired, she talks to them a lot. She was captured and drugged really bad several times. She smoked too much. And she had to retire. Okay? She was talking about the Texas group. She said that Texas group, all law enforcement are after him. She said they've killed both FBI and CIA agents. All law enforcement's after that Texas group. She said, do you know how dangerous they are? I said, yeah, I know how dangerous they are. She said, do you know they dismember people? I said, I heard that. Do you know they walk up and just shoot you in the car? I said, I heard that. She said all law enforcement are after him. Okay? That's where Maddie's friend on the police department, he talked to him. They looked me up and they found my case. 2.5 hours away. He shows up January 20th, 23. Comes in, I got a friend in the police department. All these men walking. I thought you brought your police department. No, we brought the U.S. Marshals. They knew about the Texas group in your case. I'm like the Kingsman, because we all work for the King from Texas. We are his men. Dave Hardis, he struggled. It's a fentanyl king from Livermore. That's where the Middle Eastern men, ladies in hijabs. Yeah. Okay? And that's what the ones that they told Bill to take care of Michelle. Okay? That guy's in it with a scam. He works for Bill. Get it? Why are they trying to trick that agent to show up? And then it dawned on me this morning. To kill agents. It's like, my God, Agent John, stay away. Just make a nasty phone call. You leave my little informant alone. She's in the witness protection program. Threat and attempt to life case, you leave her alone. And don't you ever think that you can't. Those cops out there, people were horrified. Horrified. Because they sold Logan. That bill from the Freemasons sold Logan in the first 2 months. Those police officers out there saying because she told on those Portage County sheriffs being in that hospital, we're going to tell all law enforcement never to help her again. Even if she moves away, we'll call them and make sure nobody ever helps her, no matter what happens to her. Oh, people were upset, even little kids, those dirty police officers, because she told on those people in that hospital, said they'll make sure nobody helps her again. That's a federal crime. And they were taped under police surveillance in an FBI case by the sheriffs and the FBI, by the way. Agent John, you may want to address that. That's a federal crime. It is. I told the sheriffs, the CIA, the FBI, by the way. My phone's legally bugged, my apartment's legally bugged, and so's my car. Where they didn't just pretend to open the case like the Stark County sheriffs. We all know they opened an informant case, and we all help watch her. They have to document and verify everything every day, including your dirty statements. But I figured out this morning, because I kept thinking, running through my mind, why do they even said they can't prosecute her? She's in immunity. Okay? Witness protection program, people. Huh? Why do they want, and they kept saying they can't prosecute her. But if they arrest her, get somebody dumb enough to arrest her, that agent will have to show up in it within an hour. I kept thinking, why do you want him to show up and yell at police officers? Why would you want to do that? That's stupid. Then I realized what the CIA agent said, where they're threatening to take care of Michelle. Scam's over, it's ruined. Then they want to also run a scam to make John show up. I realized this morning what they were doing. It clicked. It's a Texas group. I realized it. I'm like, oh my God. She said they killed agents. He's with the Texas group. He's with Bill. He's trying to make that agent show up. Yeah, I realized what he's doing. Oh, yeah. They were not Portage County sheriffs in that hospital. Michelle's mother's drug cartel, and those ladies were not saying they were Portage County sheriffs. They were saying they were FBI, and they were framing the FBI. Portage County sheriffs don't do it. We're sort of kind of out of their jurisdiction unless they have an agreement with different counties and license for different counties. They can't leave their county, honey. That was the cartel, and they wouldn't be seen with the cartel. Got it? But I'm going to go ahead and upload this. These people have been playing people like a fool. Fool. You need to start looking at them when they open their mouth, saying, nope, I'm not falling for that one. Nope. How could she threaten you? She wasn't part of your church for 15 years. She wouldn't have any of your information. Wouldn't even see her. In the other church, I don't even know their names. They wouldn't even acknowledge us. They snubbed us. So we hardly went. See what I mean? Need to, before you put your name on it, you need to get facts straight. Just like they said that about the agent, it was a medication error that made her sick before. He needs to get his facts straight before he puts his name on it. September 18th, 24. Okay? Why'd they wait 15 years? Oh, when Strange thought she was following Tim and Katie or her killed. And if she didn't die, to have her destroyed. And nobody was to say her thing until Dave said he wanted a divorce, and it took him 15 years to say it. This was over her Strange thinking she was following Tim and Katie. And it was Linda. He needs to get his facts straight. That agent, it was a medication that made her sick before. And this all is over Strange thinking she was following Tim and Katie. And it wasn't her. And they planned this for 15 years before they did it. And you can't threaten people you have never even spoke to, and people you've never seen in 15 years or had anything to do with them. Told you, only visited twice in 2011. I was trying to find out whether they were making up stuff back then. And I was with Dave, and I didn't go back. And then one night he came home and hurt me really bad. And I'm like, why? You learn to keep your filthy mouth shut. Danny and the kids just left an hour ago. I've been sitting here watching TV waiting for you to come home. I haven't spoke to anybody. It looked like he was going to be sick. Quit his church. They lied to him. He came home and beat me. Think it's funny? Stop being somebody's fool. And Agent John, I do need you to make a phone call and leave my little informant alone. Officer Mark, Officer John, Stark County Sheriff's. A police officer yesterday was mumbling. I heard thought they could say something about Melissa's kids. Well, they're documented and games to put in. All the police know they lied on Thanksgiving of 18, and Melissa got taped by the police and vets, telling her kids to lie, and the kids saying they wanted the house for Auntie Cheryl and Papa. Grandma needs to get out later on the floor. They made everything up. Like Officer John said, January 12, 22, 4:55 p.m., when those kids get taped stating they made everything up. They were games to pretend. Okay? In a legally bugged house. An officer said, I heard somebody thought they could actually say something to her. We told everybody to stay out of this. We've been trying to get all Bill's drug connections. So, Bill from the Freemasons, where the cops and the feds have been streaking your ego, They've been playing you for a patsy and a fool. They just had to sacrifice me for you to give up all those drug cartels. Hmm? And thousands went to jail because of your big ego and your stupid scam. And they all played you for you to give it up to the cops and feds. Where they said they were trying to get somebody's drug connections, it was yours. They were playing you in your dumb ego. And you fell right into their trap.